and how far that institution goes back into the history of this country. Why don't you give us a little information about that? Because we all know of the Jubilee Singers, but very few of us know additional information about Fisk. Why don't you give us, from your perspective as the librarian there?
Many people think of the Fisk Library as a library in a small undergraduate college that offers some graduate work, and that is what we are basically. But the strength of the library is in special collections. We have one of the outstanding collections of this nature in the country, and many people who are involved in research do know that. The book collection is extensive, about 35,000 volumes, but the manuscript collections are especially important and are not duplicated elsewhere. One, for example, is the Rosenwald collection of the Julius Rosenwald Fund. The files of people who applied for those fellowships are a great source of information, biographical information on women and men. And a lot of the women who are in here received the Rosenwald fellowships. And you go right down that application. They give birth dates, they give parents, they give personal information about the subject, and they'll give personal statements and letters from other people who those letters talk about this person and their interests. So that is an important source, not just for the fellowships, but for if one is interested in history of black education, for example. Look at those. The Rosenwald schools, we have photographs of those schools. People don't know that they're there.
What about the Rosenwald schools? I attended a Rosenwald school back in 1946, Dr. Smith. Why don't you say something about the impact that those schools had?
The impact of those schools was just immeasurable, I think, and there have been some research projects and some are going on now to talk about those schools. They were established in the South where education for blacks was so poor, for whites too, for that example, but we're talking about the schools for blacks. Put out in rural areas, Rosenwald provided its own teachers, so you know, you had to meet a certain standard to become a Rosenwald teacher. I think that if we had not had those schools, education would have been many years. Many years would have passed before education developed in the rural South.
Very good. And during the last 4 or 5 minutes that we have here, Dr. Smith, let's talk about some of the other projects that you were involved in prior to the publication of Noted Black American Women. You also edited another series of research source kinds of books, have you not? Why don't you give us some information relative to those works, because some persons might be interested in those as well as the one that we have here.
It's interesting that almost everything I do grows out of something else that I've done, and that happened certainly with the other books that I edited. My very first book was Black Academic Libraries and Research Collections. That is a study that I completed on the fellowship, but it has important historical information on the black colleges as well as their libraries. I edited one on images of blacks in American culture, which talks about the images in literature, in art, in theater, in many other areas, and there are some illustrations in that book. I edited one on ethnic genealogy, and that has been used quite a bit. It came out about the time when there was a great interest in genealogy. There is now, but I mean the interest was just developing among blacks and ethnic groups. There had been very little published on these groups at that time, and I think even now there is not a lot published. And this book helped fill a void. If you were black and didn't know how to get started, or didn't know the esoteric resources you should use, or the approaches you should use, this is what the book did for you. And the other one is called Statistical Record of Black America. One of my colleagues, Carell Horton, and I compiled that, and we are now working on the second edition. It is a compilation of over 900 tables we've pulled from various sources, and it's a good, quick reference for one who needs to know statistics on a particular area. And it's arranged by broad topic, but it's well indexed, so you can get to the information that you need.
Very good. And so you've provided a very good background in terms of source materials for persons who would like to become involved in not only their own personal search, but in terms of research dealing with the black experience in America. Now, what about some of your future projects? I know, Dr. Smith, that you're a person of accomplishment, and that as soon as you've completed one project, you're ready to go on to the other, as if the first project did not exist, but what are some of your future projects? What are you planning on doing beyond here?
I'm already involved in one called Black First. And of course, we're inviting people who have such information to send to us. But we want to know the first black who did something, the first black mayor of a city, the first black governor. We've had a black governor, or the first black to receive a doctorate in the United States, or from Harvard, or something of that nature. And we'll give a little biographical information about the person, as well as the activity that the person is noted for. And the other is really an outgrowth of this book. At the end of each biography here, we have listed collections. We want to know where the resources are that tell you about other information on black women. And so we're trying to pull those together, not only for these women, but other black women who may or may not be included in this book. I'm not actually into that yet. I'm just developing that idea, but that's something I will be moving into very soon, I'm sure.
Very good. Let me thank you, Dr. Smith, for coming by and spending the 30 minutes giving us this information. And I can say from a personal point of view that I found that to be a very, very helpful book, and that had I had an opportunity to put my hands on such an instrument back in 1972 when I was studying for my PhD at Kent State University, then it would have been much easier, because a large number of those names in there that I'm familiar with are names that I knew in one context or another, but at the same time it was not that much information. So we think that you've done an excellent job, and we think that it is a book that will be a coffee table kind of book, that people will buy it not only for a research tool, but they'll buy it simply to have that kind of quick reference available to deal with notable black American women. And let me thank you for taking the time to come by and to share with us that very, very important information today. And let me encourage you to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.